Good morning, well maybe evening for you guys. It is 4.2, triangle congruence by side, 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 and side, angle, side. We're going to work through this foldable all of chapter 4, so that's why I gave it to you today. This side, side, side corresponds to 4.2, what we're doing today, and side, angle, side also corresponds to 4.2. We'll get to angle, angle, side, angle, and hypotenuse leg in a little bit. Okay, so let's start with side, side, side. What it does is it states that if, let's zoom in a bit here, if 3 sides of one triangle are congruent to 3 sides of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. All right, so if we can prove that from this triangle ACB, side AC is congruent to DF, which it's marked so, right, the 2 lines, and that AB is congruent to DE, which it's marked so, then CB and FE are congruent, marked congruent with the 3 lines. Then we can say that the triangles ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So if all 3 of their sides are congruent, they are congruent triangles. Let's move down now to side, angle, side. Okay, so if 2 sides and the included angle, right, the angle between the 2 congruent sides, are congruent to 2 sides and the included angle of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So let's look at this here. If we can say that side AC, which is marked with 2 lines, is congruent to DE of this other triangle, also marked with 2 lines, and that their included angle, right between these 2 lines, angle A and angle D are congruent, which they are also marked congruent, and AB is congruent to DF, then we can say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So the important part for this one, and where people get confused, is they forget that it needs to be between the 2 congruent sides. It can't be just some side over here. Some angle over here. It has to be between the 2 sides. Okay, so let's flip this over and see what the heck we're going to do with these when it comes to proofs. All right, well, we have, if I can move this over in the right direction, we have this figure over here, LPNM. All right, and it's telling us our given is that LM, this segment, is congruent to NP, this segment up here. And the LP, this side, is congruent to NM, this side. Okay, they want us to prove that triangle LMN, this triangle right here, is congruent to triangle NPL, this triangle right here. So let's look at some of our statements and see if we can come up for some of our reasons. Go ahead and hopefully we can see this. So LM is congruent to MP. Well, let's look back up here. LM is congruent to MP. Well, that's a given. So we've got that one taken care of. And then if we can remember way back to chapter 2, LN is congruent to LN. That's the same thing. It's congruent to the same thing. Remember, like looking in the mirror, you see your reflection. That would be reflexive. All right, now here's the one I've been telling you guys about. Let's see if we can't get a better picture here. LP is congruent to NM. Well, this is when I tell you that sometimes they'll throw the given in a little bit down yonder. So that is given. Okay, well, we were just able to prove that this side and this side are congruent, and PN and LM are congruent, and that this middle piece, LN, is congruent to LN. We just proved that all of the sides are congruent, so we would say that the triangles LMN and NPL are congruent by side, side, side. Okay, let's look at our triangles down here. All right, well, we have a side, an angle, and a side. Is that our included angle? Is it between the two sides? All right, and then over here, we have a side, an angle, and a side. And is it between our two sides? This angle? It sure is. So we would say these triangles are congruent by side, angle, side. And then over here, we have a side, an angle, and a side, and it is between these two sides, so it is the included angle. And then over here we have this triangle, an angle, a side, and a side. Is this angle included? Is it between the two sides? No, it's not. So for B, we would say there is not enough info. And then when we move down here to C, we have this side congruent to that side, this side with 2 dashes congruent to that side with 2 dashes, and this side with 3 dashes congruent to this side with 3 dashes. All 3 sides are congruent, so we would say side, side, side. And those are your notes for today. Have a good one, guys. See you tomorrow.